I, Dr. Krishna Kumar, and my friend Professor Mahesh Jagtap welcome you all on the behalf of Department of Applied Sciences and Humanities, MIT School of Engineering, Pune, MIT Art, Design and Technology University, Pune, on the occasion of Pi Approximation Day. So we first see some important facts about pi. Archimedes of Syracuse, 287 to 212 BC, one of the greatest mathematicians of the ancient world, had first calculated the value of pi, so he was known as inventor of pi. First time in the year 1706, William Jones, the Welsh mathematician, used the Greek letter pi to represent pi. In the year 1761, Johann Heinrich Lambert proved that pi is an irrational number. Pi Day was founded by physicist Larry Shaw in 1988 and is celebrated on March 14 every year. It is celebrated in countries that follow the month day MMDD date format because the digits in the date March 14, 314 are the first three digits of pi 3.14. July 22 is celebrated as Pi Approximation Day, which is also known as Casual Pi Day. Pi denotes the relationship between a circle's circumference and its diameter and is denoted by the fraction 22 by 7, which calculates approximately to 3.14. So that's why 22 by 7 means 22nd July is celebrated as Pi Approximation Day. And now the value of pi can be given as what is the ratio of circumference of circle. It is 2 by r divided by the diameter 2r. So this 2 will cancel and r will cancel, then we are getting the pi. So pi is what? Pi is nothing but the ratio of circumference of circle and its diameter. In the year 2015, March 14 was celebrated as Super Pi Day. It had special significance as the date is written as 31415 in month day year format at time 9 hours 26 minutes 53 seconds. The date and time together represented the first 10 digits of pi, that is pi is equal to 3.141592653. So that's why the year 2015 was celebrated as Super Pi Day. UNESCO's 40th General Conference decided Pi Day as the International Day of Mathematics in November 2019. Now, if we see what is the use of pi, so with the help of pi, we are able to find the circumference of circle, area of circle, pi r square, volume of a sphere, 4 by 3 pi r cube, the surface area of a sphere, 4 pi r square, the lateral surface area of cylinder, 2 pi rh, the surface area of a cylinder, 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r square, the volume of cylinder, pi r square h, the surface area of a cone, pi r times r plus L, and many more. So now what is the importance of pi? So if there is importance of wheel in the human civilization, so similarly the importance of pi is in the modern mathematics or modern science. So now that was some important facts about the pi. Now let us come to the solution of our quiz questions. So the first question was, some parrots settled on the branches of a tree. First they sat one to a branch and there was one parrot too many. Next they sat to a branch and there was one branch too many. How many parrots were there? So now there were four options are given, 3, 4, 5 and 2. So let us try to simplify this question, or let us try to find out the answer of this quiz. So let us first consider that m and n be the number of parrots and branches respectively. Then according to the first condition, they sat one to a branch and there was one parrot too many. So now what it means, since one parrot is extra, means in each and every branch there were one parrot and then one parrot is extra. So now we can write it, m is the number of parrots, n is the number of branches, and there is a one extra parrot. So now we can write it, m minus n is equal to 1. Similarly, if we see about the second case, if two parrots, they sat two to a branch. If two parrots they sat in a branch, then one branch is extra. So for the second case, one branch is extra. So we can write that number of branches minus half of the number of parrots, because in one branch there are two parrots and this gives equal to 1 because there is a one branch which is extra. So now if we simplify this equation, let us multiply whole equation by 2. So it will become 2n minus m is equal to 2, and again we can put the value of m from equation number 1. What is the value of m? M is equal to n plus 1. So now we are putting the value of m is equal to n plus 1 equal to 2. So this is 2n, and if you open the bracket, this will become minus n, and minus 1 is equal to 2. So this 2n minus n is equal to n, and this 1 goes to this side will become plus 1, so it will become 3. So there are n number of branches, n is equal to 3. So what it means, 3 branches, and definitely how many parrots were there? So m is equal to n plus 1, so is equal to 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. So this 4 is the number of parrots. So now what is the correct answer? So B is the correct answer. Let us come to the second quiz question. A kangaroo jumps and lands exactly 22 feet away at a time. What is the least number of jumps required to reach a point 7 feet away? So now there are 4 options given, 1, 3, 2, and the 4th option, not possible to travel such distance. So let us try to simplify. So now let us draw one big circle whose radius is 22 feet. Whose radius is 22 feet. So let us consider that kangaroo is in the initial condition of the kangaroo is this place. Means it is on the circumference of circle of radius 22 feet. And then when kangaroo will jumps one time, then that will reach at the center of the circle. And then what we will do, we will make a circle at this point with radius of 7. We make another circle whose radius is 7 feet. 7 feet, so that when this is the first jump, and after that when the kangaroo reached at the center of the circle, they again jumped at another point, which is this point, which will also lie on the circumference of the circle. So this is the second step, and then finally this distance between these two distance will be 7 feet. So clearly kangaroo will take 1 and 2 steps to reach the point which is 7 feet away from the initial position. So clearly, what is our answer? Answer is C. Third question. In the first 8 overs of a T20 cricket match, the run rate was only 5.25. What should be the run rate in the remaining 12 hours to reach the target of 177 runs? So now there are 4 options are given. Let us try to solve this question. Since in first 8 overs the run rate is 5.25. So let us first calculate how many runs are made in first 8 hours. So total runs made in 8 overs is equal to 8 into total over, and what is the run rate? So 8 into 5.25, if you multiply it, we are getting 42 runs. Now runs required for the next 12 overs. So this is what 42 runs is already made in first 8 overs. So now we have to find out how many runs to be made in next 12 overs. So total run we have to make, total run is to be made, it is 177. So 177 minus 42, so total 135 runs to be made in 12 overs. So now the 135 runs can be made in 12 overs. So in 1 over, how many runs can be made? So this will be the required run rate. So required run rate is 135 divided by 12, and if we divide it, it is nothing but 11.25. So the first A option is the correct option. Let us go to the fourth question. The distance from where the tower is observed is 60 feet from its base, and the angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 45 degree. The height of the tower is. So now 4 options are given: 72 feet, 60 feet, 45 and 63.018 feet. So let AB be the tower and BC its base, and angle ACB is equal to 45. Now this is, now let us see the right angle triangle ABC, where C is the acute angle, that's value is 45 degree, and which is the angle of elevation. So now in the right angle triangle, this is right angle at B. So in the right angle triangle ABC, what is the tan 45? Tan 45 is equal to, this is perpendicular divided by its base. So AB upon BC. But what is BC? BC is given, this distance from this to this distance is given 60 feet. So now we can put the value of BC. So 1 is equal to AB upon 60. So what is AB? AB is equal to 60 feet. And now what is AB? AB is the height of the tower. So what is the correct answer? B is the correct answer, 60 feet. Question number 5. 2 trains, each 100 meter long, moving in opposite directions, cross each other in 5 seconds. If one is moving thrice as fast as the other, then the speed of the faster train is. So now we have given 2 trains, one is faster and another is slower. So let the speed of the slower train be x meter per second. Then the speed of the faster train will be definitely 3x, because it is given that it is thrice as fast the others. So hence the relative speed is equal to x plus 3x, because one train is coming from this to this side, another train is coming to this from this to this side. So the speed of this train is x, the speed of this train is 3x, so relative speed will be 4x. Now what is the speed? Speed is the distance upon 5. When they will cross to each other, the length of the first train is 100 and second train is also 100. So total distance is 100 plus 100. And what is the time taken to cross each other? It is 5 seconds. So 100 plus 100 divided by 5, and it is what? It is 4x. So with the help of it, we can try to solve it. So 5 into 4x is 20x. 100 plus 100 is 200. So 20x is equal to 200, and if you simplify it, x is equal to 10 meter per second. So the speed of the slower train is 10 meter per second. So what is the speed of the faster train? It is 3x. So the 3 times of 10 means 30 meter per second. But now our answer is given in the kilometer an hour. So now let us try to convert this 30 meter per second to kilometer per hour. So now in 1 kilometer there are 1000 meters. So we are dividing 30 divided by 1000, and second it is in the denominator. So we have to multiply by 60 into 60, because in 1 hour there are 60 into 60 seconds. So now these 3 zeros will be cancelled. So we have the answer 108 kilometer per hour. So what is our answer? Our answer is B, 108 kilometer per hour. Similarly, the speed of the slower train can be also calculated. There is no problem over there. We can also calculate, because in this question it is not asked, but sometime it will be also asked. So it is what? 30 kilometer per hour. Question number 6. A boy agrees to work at the rate of rupees 1 on the first day, rupees 2 on the second day, rupees 4 on the third day, and so on. How much will the boy get if he starts working on the 1st July and finishes on 22nd July? So 4 options are given. So let us try to simplify again this question. So wages of the boy on first day in the rupees, it is 1 rupees. Wages of the boy on the second day, it is 2 rupees. So wages of the boy on the third day, it is 4 rupees. So can we write 4 is equal to 2 to the power 2? This can be written 2 to the power 1, and this can be written at 2 to the power 0. Okay, so clearly if in the first day he is getting 2 to the power 0, second day 2 to the power 1, third day 2 to the power 2, means what? The power of 2 is 1 less. So similarly, wages of the boy on the 22nd day, it will be 2 to the power 21. Now these are the wages of first 22 days. So if we add all this term, then we get the total wages. So adding above, we have total wages 1 plus 2 plus 2 to the power 2 plus 2 to the power 3 plus 2 to the power 4 up to 2 to the power 21. So now this is what? It is nothing but a GP series whose first term A is equal to 1 and common ratio is 2 upon 1, or 2 square upon 2 is equal to 2. So what is the sum of GP series of first n terms? It is A times of r to the power n minus 1 upon r minus 1, because r is here 2 which is greater than 1. So we will write r first. Otherwise, sometime if r is less than 1, we write 1 minus r to the power n and 1 minus r. So here, what is the value of r? It is 2. So 2 to the power n means how many terms? 22 terms, minus 1 and 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So we are getting 2 to the power 22 minus 1. So the correct answer is B. Question number 7. What is the probability of getting 53 Fridays in the year 2024? Four options are given. Again, the year 2024 is a leap year. Leap year, generally in each year there are 365 days, but in leap year, since the February will be 29 days, so there will be 366 days. So now in the year 2024 there will be 366 days. So total number of days in the year 2024 is 366. So now each week has 7 days. So let us try to convert first this total number of days into week. So 366 can be written as 364 plus 2, and 364 is nothing but a 52 into 7 plus 2. So what it means, there is a 52 weeks in a year, in a leap year 2024, and the 2 days are extra. So each leap year contains 52 weeks and 2 days. So now these 2 days may be either Monday or Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, Tuesday and Wednesday, Wednesday and Thursday, Thursday and Friday, Friday and Saturday, Saturday and Sunday, and Sunday and Monday. So there are 7 options, possibilities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now if we see that out of these 7 possibilities, Friday comes 2 times, Thursday and Friday, and Friday and Saturday, and Friday and Saturday. So therefore, the probability of getting 53 Fridays in the year 2024 is given by favorable outcomes divided by total outcomes. So this is what it is, nothing but 2 by 7. So this is our answer. C is our answer, 2 by 7. So this is the probability of getting 53 Fridays in the year 2024. If the perimeter of half circle is 51.4 meters, then the area of circle is, so let us try to find out its area. So we have given that let r meter be the radius of the circle, then perimeter of circle is equal to what? It is 2 pi r, and perimeter of circle is given, it is 51.4. So perimeter of, okay, half circle is given, perimeter of half circle is given. So perimeter of half circle is what? If we draw the circle, this is the half circle. So what is the perimeter of half circle? It is the this part plus this part. So now half of the total circumference plus its diameter. So perimeter of half circle is given, it is 51.4, and if we simplify this 2 will cancel, pi r plus 2r, and now then r is common in both parts, we can take outside, we are getting pi plus 2. So now what is the value of r? So r is equal to 51.4 divided by pi, we can put the value of pi is 3.14 plus 2, so it is 5.14. So it is 51.4 upon 5.14. So let us remove the decimal sign. So we will multiply by 100 to numerator and denominator. We are getting 5140 divided by 514. So what is the answer? So radius of the circle is 10 meter. Now we have to find out the area of circle. So what is the area of circle? It is nothing but a pi r square. So we will put the value of r, it is 10 meter. So pi is equal to 3.14 into 100. So the answer is 314 square meter. So the correct answer is D, 314 square meter. Question number 9. At a farewell function, everyone shook hands with everybody else. There were 353 handshakes. How many people were at the farewell functions? So now the answers are given, options are given. Let us try to simplify it. Let n be the total number of people in the farewell function. Then clearly total number of handshakes, suppose if we consider from the first person, and okay, so except himself, he can shake hands with other n minus 1 people, so it is n minus 1. Another second will be handshakes to n minus 2 people, then n minus 3 people, and so on. So this is what it is, the total number of handshakes which was done by the n number of people. So let us try to write down this in the ascending order. We will reverse the order: 1 plus 2 plus 3, n minus 1, n minus 3, n minus 2, and n minus 1. So 1 to n minus 1. So it is nothing but the sum of first n minus 1 number. So now we know that 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus n, sum of first n natural number is nothing but n into n plus 1 divided by 2. So here in place of n it is n minus 1. So how we can write it? It is n minus 1 and n minus 1 plus 1 divided by 2. So this minus 1 plus 1 will cancel, and we are getting total number of handshakes. It is already given 253. So 253 is equal to n times of n minus 1 upon 2. So if we simplify it, n into n minus 1 is equal to 2 times of 253, and if you multiply it, it is 506. Now this we will get the quadratic equation, but now there is another method to simplify it. N into n minus 1, this 506 can be written as 23 into 22. So now again we can write what is 22 can be written as 23 into 23 minus 1. Okay, so now if we compare this to both the part, what is the value of n? N is equal to 23. So the total number of people in the given function is 23. So the correct answer is E. Let us come to the 10th question. Find the missing number in the sequence 52, 94, 121, 961, and blank, and 163. So now we have to find out what is the value of this in the given sequence. Options are given. So let us try to simplify it. Let the missing number be x. Consider the given sequence. What is the given sequence? It is 52, 94, 121, 961, and the unknown quantity is x and 163. So now let us try to reverse the number. Now let us reverse the number, individual numbers. Then 52 is 25, 94 is 49, 121 is 121, 961 is 169, x is x, and 163 is 361. Okay, so what is 5? 25, it is nothing but a 5 square, 49 is the 7 square, 121 is the 11 square, 169 is the 13 square, and 361 is the 19 square. Again, if we see what is the pattern. So clearly here, if we add 2 to 5, we are getting 7. If we add 4 in 7, we are getting 11. Again, if we add 2, we will get 13. And 13, if we add 4, we are getting what we will get? 13 plus 4 is 17. And then 17 plus 2 is again 19. So now this is the pattern: plus 2, plus 4, plus 2, 4, 2, 4, and so on. So clearly, if we add 13 to 4, what we are getting? 17 square. So the missing number, missing x is equal to what? It is nothing but the square of the 17, which is 289. But now since this is not our answer, because we have to first again rearrange the each and every terms in the opposite order. So again reversing the individual numbers, we get 52, 94, 121, 961, 982, and 163. So what is this? It is 982. So C is the correct answer. Now 11th question. 40% of 50 plus 50% of 40 plus 40% of 40 plus 50% of 50 is what? So let us simplify it. Okay, 40% of 50 means 40 by 100 into 50. 50% of 40 is 50 by 100 into 40. 40% of 40 is 40 by 100 into 40, and 50% of 50 is 50 by 100 into 50. Okay, so what will happen? This 2 will cancel. Each and every term has all zeros will cancel. What we are getting in the first term, we are getting 4 into 5. Second term 5 into 4. Third term 4 into 4, and fourth term it is 5 into 5. So if you multiply it, 20 plus 20 plus 16 plus 25. So it is nothing but 81. So the C is the correct answer. Come to the next question. A number is selected at random from the set of numbers 21, 22 up to 99. The probability that the selected number contains the digit 7 is. 4 options are given. So let us try to solve this question. The given set is A. It has 21 to 99. It is in the sequence 21, 22, 23 and so on up to 99. So let us first find how many numbers A contains. So clearly the total number of elements in the set is last element minus first element plus 1. So 99 minus 21 plus 1 is equal to 78 plus 1 is equal to 79. So the total number of element in the given set is 79. Now let us try to search the element that contains the digit 7. So now it starts from the 21. So 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 is the first number. So the numbers containing the digit 7 from the above set are 27, then 37, 47, 57, 67, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, and then 87 and 97. So these are the numbers which contains the digits. So let us this is the first 5 numbers. 5 plus 5 10, 10 plus 5 15, 15 plus 2 17. So the total 17 numbers contains the digit 7. So hence the probability that the selected number contains the digit 7 is given by P7 is equal to numbers containing the digit 7 divided by total number of elements in the set, and it is nothing but 17 upon 79. So this is our answer. Question number 13. If 7 to the power n plus 4 minus 7 to the power n plus 2 is equal to 48, then n is equal to. So again let us try to simplify it. 7 to the power n plus 4, 7 to the power n plus 2 is equal to 48. So can we write 7 plus n plus 4? It can be written as n plus 2 plus 2, and we are not changing these two things. Again 7 to the power n plus 2 and 7 square minus 7 to the power n plus 2 is equal to 48. And why? Because a to the power m plus n can be written as a to the power m into a to the power n. And now 7 to the power n plus 2 is common in both the first term. So we will take outside, and what is remaining over here? Let us say 7 to the power 2 minus 1 is remaining, and 7 to the power 2 is nothing but 49. So 7 to the power n plus 2 is 49 minus 1, and 49 minus 1 is equal to 48. So this 48 will cancel. We can write this is equal to 1. 1 means what? 7 to the power 0, because anything has power 0 is 1. So clearly here 7 to the power n plus 2 is equal to 7 to the power 0. So what is the n plus 2? N plus 2 is equal to nothing but 0. So n plus 2 is equal to 0, which implies n is equal to minus 2. So the correct answer is D. If the word smart is coded as 19, 13, 01, 18, 20 in a code language, then find the word for the code word 13, 01, 20, 08, 19 in the same language. So now here there is a relation between letters and numbers. So options are given. So let us first assign the numbers for the letters as A is 01, B is 02, C is 03, and so on. So what is the X, Y, Z? 24, 25, and 26. So now let us consider the first term, SMART, S-M-A-R-T. It is given S is 19, A is 01, sorry, M is 13, A is equal to 01, R is equal to 18, right? And T is equal to 20. So similarly, what is the word for this? So 13, 01, 20, 08, 19. So 13 is nothing but M, 01 is nothing but A, 20 is nothing but A, 20 is nothing but T, and 08 is nothing but H, and 19 is S. So what we are getting? Maths. So now what is the correct option is C. Question number 15. 5 players P, Q, R, S and T are playing cards on a table facing the center. P is on the left of Q but not a neighbor of T. S is on the right of R and is not a neighbor of Q. T is on the right of Q, who is on the left of P. So now this is what? Let us try to make one circle, a round table we can consider it over here. So this is a round table. Around it, all 5 players are seated. So let us first take the first condition. P is on the left of Q. So there is a P and Q. P is on the left of Q. Correct? If we let us leave this part P1, let us come to the another part. S is on the right of R. Now for P, this is right and this is left. Similarly, if we write down another S, S is on the right of R. So now this is R. So for R, this is left and this is right. So clearly what is S is on the right of R. So S is on the right of R and is not a neighbor of Q. And this is what? So we denote that Q is there. So Q is not the neighbor of R because there is a T over here. Because what is that? T, but not a neighbor of T. P is on the left of Q. P is on the left of Q, but it is not the neighbor of T. Similarly, S is on the right of R. S is on the right of R and is not a neighbor of Q. Clearly, this is not a neighbor of Q. T is on the right. Next, T is on the right of Q. What is this? This is Q, this is left side and this is right side. So now T is right on the Q. So what is the question? Who is on the left of P? So who will be the left of P? It is right for P and it is left for P. So clearly S is the player S will be in the left side of the P. So this B is our correct answer. After an increment of 7 in both the numerator and denominator, a fraction changes to 2 by 3. Find the original fraction. So let the fraction be x by y. Then according to the question, x plus 7 upon y plus 7 is equal to 2 by 3. Because we are in there is increment 7 in numerator as well as denominator. So now let us take the cross product of these two numbers and then we are able to multiply it. 3 times of x plus 7, 2 times of y plus 7, which implies 3x plus 21 is equal to 2y plus 14. And 3x, now 21 minus 14 is 7. So 3x plus 7 is equal to 2y. So now just look here. We are getting only one equation. 3x plus 7. 3x plus 7 is equal to 2y. So one equation and there are two independent variable x and y. So what it means? It means that out of x and y, one will be independent variable. Either x is independent variable or y be independent variable. So let us consider x is independent variable. So now in this case, if we have one equation and two variables, then at that time we are getting infinitely many solutions. So actually this problem has infinitely many solutions. So out of which we have to calculate that which out of these four solutions, which is the correct fraction of correct given fractions. We have to calculate it. So let us try to put x is equal to, we will put the arbitrary value of x. So if you put the value of x is 1, let us put. So it is an equation of two variables. So one variable will be independent. So it has infinitely many solutions. Let us compute y at x is equal to 1. So we have x is equal to 1. So 3 into 1 is 3. 3 plus 7 is 10. So 2y is equal to 7. So y is equal to 10 by 2 is 5. So the x is equal to 1. Y is equal to 5. So what is our answer? It is 1 by 5. So clearly 1 by 5 is the answer. Now just look here. This question can be also solved in this manner. Let us write down 5 plus 7 upon 8 plus 7. So it is nothing but 12 upon 15. So it is 4 by 5. It is not the answer because it should be 2 by 3. Second one is the 2 plus 7 upon 5 plus 7. So it is what? It is 9 by 12. So this is 3 by 4. It is again not the number. If we come to the 1 by 1 upon 1 plus 7 and 5 plus 7. So 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 12. So this is what? It is 2 by 3, which is correct answer. And if we come to the last part, 1 plus 7 upon 8 plus 7. So it is 8 upon 15. So this is not the correct value. So in this manner we can also solve the given question, or we can also use this method. So now what is the correct answer? Correct answer is C, 1 by 5. Question number 17. 4 identical coins are placed in a square. For each coin, the ratio of area to circumference is same as the ratio of circumference to area. Then the area of the square covered by the coins is, what is the, so this is given options. So let us consider that the radius of a coin be r unit. Then the area of coin will be pi r square, and circumference of the coin, which is circular, is a 2 pi r. So according to the question, what is given, that the ratio of area to circumference is same as the ratio of circumference to area. So ratio of area to circumference is equal to ratio of circumference to area. So A by C, and it is C by A. So what is A? A is equal to pi r square, C is equal to 2 pi r. So let us put its value. Pi r square upon 2 pi r is equal to 2 pi r upon pi r square. So now the rate value will be cancelled. Pi will cancel, r will cancel, pi will cancel, r will cancel. So what we are getting? R into r is equal to 2 into 2. This can be written as r upon 2 is equal to 2 upon r. So we can do the cross multiplication. R into r equal to 2 into 2, which means r is equal to 2. So this is the radius of the circle. So now we have to calculate what is the area of the square. So let us, what is the area of the one circle? These are 4 circles. So let us try to find out the area of one coin. It is pi r square is equal to pi 2 square, means 4 pi. So what is the area covered by the coin? It is 4 times of area of the one coin. So it is 4 into 4 pi is equal to 16 pi. So the correct answer is B. The time in the wall clock shows 7:35. What time will it show in the mirror placed against it? 4 options are given. So let us observe, let us try to trace the clock. There are two clock, but there is only one clock. Suppose this is the time, and now it is 7:35. This shows the 7:35. Now let us put the mirror. Then the image will be in this manner. Actually the number will be, this will be 2, but we have written the number as it is. Now just look here, the position of the hour and minutes. So this is what it is, 4 and it is 25. So it is nothing but 4:25. So the correct answer is 4:25, which is the B option. What is the determinant of a lower triangular matrix A of order 5 by 5 with A33 is equal to 0? So clearly, what is lower triangular matrix? Suppose we will write down the lower triangular matrix. So it is A11, 2, for example, 3, 0, A22, 0, 0, 0, A33. So lower triangular matrix means what? A matrix in which all the elements below the main diagonals are 0. So these are 0, 0. And if you want to find out what its determinant is nothing but A11 into A22 into A33. Okay, so now the determinant of lower triangular matrix is given by multiplication of its diagonal elements. So is equal to A11, A22, A3 multiplied by A33 multiplied by A44 and A55. But we have given that A33 is 0. So definitely the determinant of the given matrix should be 0. So the answer D is correct. The last question. The value of the following expression is, so let us, this I is what? It is iota. And the value of I, we know that I is equal to root of minus 1. Let us try to calculate it. So I cube plus I to the power 6 plus I to the power 9 plus I to the power 12 plus I to the power 15 plus I to the power 18. So can we write like that? I to the power 2 plus 1. There are many ways. So we will write like this, because we know that I to the power 2 is equal to minus 1 and I to the power 4 is equal to plus 1. So we will write all I in terms of 2 and 4. So let us separate it. I to the power 2 into I to the power 4 I square, I to the power 4, I to the power 4 into I to the power 1 and so on. So where in place of I square we put minus 1, in place of I to the power 4 we put 1. So minus 1 into I, 1 into minus 1, 1, 1 I, 1, 1, 1, then 1, 1, 1, minus 1 I, 1, 1, 1, 1 and minus 1. Okay, so now what is the answer? It is minus I, it is minus 1, it is I, it is 1, it is minus I and it is minus 1. So clearly plus I minus I, plus 1 minus 1 will cancel. The answer is minus 1 minus I. So this was the last question. So the correct answer is A. Correct answer is A, minus 1 minus I. So this is the complete solution of the quiz which we have asked for the pi approximation day. Now this total solution and the PPTs are prepared by the Professor Mahesh Jagtap, Assistant Professor in Mathematics, Department of Applied Sciences and Humanities, MIT School of Engineering, MIT Art Design and Technology University Pune. Email address, and it is the website, our website, and it is presented by me, Dr. Krishna Kumar, Assistant Professor in Mathematics, Department of Applied Sciences and Humanities, MIT School of Engineering, MIT Art Design and Technology University Pune. This is my email address and this is the website, web address of our university. Thank you very much.